like it gives you room for intro stuff.
Oh, yes.
Like that's what I learned through YouTube. Okay, we're gonna do the 5 seconds right now. Whatever.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Very well done.
But welcome back to another episode of Stupidly Woke, and we are Sunday.
It is a Sunday.
Lovely morning,
Happy
and
Sabbath.
I'm here with a special friend that we met through hummingbird church, Danya. All right. So, what compelled you to reach out and come on this podcast?
Oh, well, one, I like attention very much. And this was another means for me to get it.
Hell yeah.
No, you know what? Actually, your very first podcast, and was it your first one or just the first one I listened to with Kendra from Vegas?
Oh, hell yeah.
Holy fuck. I would listen to that shit while I was shopping in Costco for 2 hours, right? And I'm in the fucking cereal aisle, and I don't even remember what Kendra was saying, but this girl said something, and I was fucking dying in the cereal aisle. The other moms would turn around looking at me like I had done that. And then that's when I was like, shit, all right, Tony's got something going on here. He's got something. I'll be involved.
Hell yeah. So if you guys don't know about the podcast, my intentions are to bring information from the outer limits to the inner limits. So if no one watches, cool. But if it gets into someone's hands that really need it, also cool. And a quick happy birthday shout out to our lovely friend Vitaly. He does breath work, little brief thing. Honestly, before I met him, I didn't believe in breath work. I was like, man, how the hell do you breathe and get out
I didn't
anything?
know what the fuck it was. I never even heard the word.
Dude, it was kind of crazy. How did you experience it?
Breath work? I was at my first retreat. I didn't even know what it was because I was in a pretty desperate mental and physical state at my first retreat. So I didn't even know what was on the agenda. I just knew that I was at the edge and that attending this retreat would help me. And I met Vitaly, and I was like, this motherfucker's intimidating. And he said, all right, we're going to do some breath work. I didn't know what that was. He says, lay down, put something over your eyes. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, I was like, bro, you just going to make us breathe? Okay.
Yeah, okay. I know how to do it. Been doing that my whole life.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. And then it was life-changing. Like, it really was. My first session with Vitaly, I felt my energy unblock in places that I didn't know I could feel it. I never really felt my energy that potently before. But that first breath work session in every single one since has cleansed me and elevated me. And I've even done shamanic breath work journeying with Vitaly, and I've traveled. I really have journeyed.
What is shamanic breath work, dude? What the fuck?
It is like one of the most advanced courses that he offers, and it literally puts you in an altered state with just your breath and the chemicals inside your brain. And I've done it multiple times, and each time I've done it 3 times, I've traveled, I've journeyed, and received instruction from teachers. I've gone to Joshua Tree in one journey, Peru, the jungles in Peru in another journey, and my mom's living room in the 3rd journey. Yeah.
Wait, so you traveled to Peru and stuff, or was it through a journey?
That was just in my journey with breath work. I've never physically been there,
Got you.
Just in my journey with breath work. It was intense. I respond quite potently to breath work, and Vitaly's form specifically, the way he pushes and how he does it, it's unlike any other breath work that's out there. So, says the girl who never heard of breathwork before Vitaly.
So the little inside thing, his nickname to the facilitators. So we actually facilitate some retreats and help out. We call him the General.
Yeah, the General.
That shit is the funniest thing. But leading on to the next question, you said when you first tried out the breathwork, you were kind of like in despair, or you're kind of like, what happened?
Can you explain? What hadn't happened? It was a culmination of an entire life of not putting myself first or meeting my needs, and it just, the lifestyle I was living and the reality I had created was bringing me to my knees in many different ways. And I wasn't planning that. February retreat was sold out in full for quite some time. But I was personal friends with Courtney, and I had heard, that's the director of Hummingbird, I had heard her talk about ayahuasca retreats and shamans and all her weird hippie shit. And I just would always leave and be like, Courtney and her weird hippie shit again. And but then I got to a place back in February where it was so bad. It was so bad. And I just woke up every day just in a constant state of thinking about death. Not necessarily choosing to act on those thoughts, but a lot of intrusive thoughts about my own death or just like calamity in general. And it just, I couldn't keep living that way, man. It was killing me.
You know, it's kind of crazy you brought that up because sometimes I'll like kind of feel these feelings where I'm like, it's kind of like, it's not suicide, but you're like, dude, what if I did die?
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like, you know, that's just a part of human nature. Our brain is like just trying to make sense of existence and stuff, you know what I mean? And a lot of people's like, oh shit, man, I'm kind of worried that I may be going to this darker path or something. And in a way, I felt like that too. I was like, dude, why am I even thinking like that? You know, I have a good life. I'm really blessed. I do a lot of cool shit. But why do I feel like indifferent about shit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, like, it took really good people around me to tell me, like, yo, being human comes with all types of emotions, not just happiness and all of that. You know, you can't have like gratitude all the time. Like, even though I live that way where I try to have a lot of gratitude, it sometimes just doesn't work out that way. You know what I mean?
I get it. And I get what you're saying. I was having this conversation with actually Susie the other night, a mutual friend of ours, but where it was very validating for me because since starting this path of enlightenment, back in February is when I started. I really was agnostic before that. Yeah. If there was a higher power, I didn't give a fuck. You know, after spending, I spent 27 fucking years as an active, faithful Mormon. And when I left that toxic ass controlling environment, I threw the baby out with the bathwater. I didn't want nothing to do with any spiritual something, whatever mumbo jumbo I'd been doing my whole life. And so, I really didn't have any of those belief systems, but now I'm rebuilding everything and deciding what works for me. And it's been a lot of light and love on this journey since February, but that like terms like light worker and light and love, like they're beautiful. They don't resonate with me directly.
Dude, they don't resonate with me either.
Yeah. and I don't like, and I see a portion of me in that, but Susie was the one who pointed out, she's like, you're a shadow worker. Like, maybe it's not all light and love for you. Maybe it's more shadow. And I felt very validated by that. I felt very seen.
It's yin and yang, right?
Yeah.
You can't be a light worker without being a shadow worker. You know, again, too much of everything is no good. Right. So yeah, you know, actually, I tattooed a really good friend of mine recently, and you know, I knew she was really spiritual, and we would have lunch sometimes, and dude, she'll call out some shit, and I'm like, bro, I'm witnessing your powers, you know what I mean? And dude, honestly, she's a good soul, but she works with chaos magic, dude.
Interesting.
And I'm just like, what the fuck is chaos magic?
Yeah,
it's just
well,
like some
explain
Blair Witch
that
Project
to me.
Shit.
Explain that.
Honestly, I really don't know, but dude, she works with like darker entities, but for like a positive impact, I guess. Right. You know, it's like, I don't know, it still kind of trips me out, you know, but
I get it.
it's kind of cool, you know, and I don't judge anybody's if like that chaos magic and stuff worked for you, and like you are working with like demons or whatever. In a way, what I've learned throughout like my like just whatever the fuck I'm doing, I don't even know, the spiritual path or whatever.
Right.
Demons aren't like evil and stuff in a way. It's just like technically like another species of beings. Right? So you can have demons that are good demons. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I understand that. I do, and I validate what you're saying. The one thing I'm learning quite rapidly is how the medicine is different for everybody, and the path is different for everybody. Magic is exceptionally personal. and,
Yeah.
and looks and resonates differently across the board. There's no exact formula to it. There's guidelines on what's worked in the past for others. But
What drew you to ayahuasca? Like, I know we spoke about it earlier, but
Yeah.
like, was there like a calling? Like, have you done other types of medicines? Have you tried shrooms? I mean, I
Yeah.
know that we connected because we were both like ravers
yes.
at one point. You
yeah.
know?
Yeah. So shrooms, no, not until recently, not until after I tried Aya. I would go to raves quite a bit and do MDMA. And I would, roll really hard with my friends, but, in completely recreational context. I had never before thought to view any mind-altering substances as a therapy or as a helpful thing. I've always just thought it was a party thing or a harmful thing because that's what I was conditioned to believe. But I was already willing to take down those barriers and cross those barriers in my mind. So when Courtney was talking about this, and I just... all the traditional forms that I've approached to try to help myself grow or heal have hurt me. I went through doctors to try to heal my mental health. They made it worse.
Oh, shit.
So much worse. And everything I was doing wasn't fucking working. So I thought, let's try Courtney's hippie shit. And I called her 2 weeks before the February retreat crying and being like, telling her like I'm suicidal and like,
Jesus.
But like I had just broken up with my boyfriend, and she also knew him. That's how I met her, was through my ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Shit, girl." And I just remember it was like, "Shit, I'll open up a bed for you."
Yeah.
I was like, "Damn, I must be in bad shape if she's opening a fucking bed for my charity ass case." But
Well,
that's how I ended
Courtney's
up there.
so cool, dude, because even with High, so High is another one of our friends that just tried the medicine and had a calling beyond just drinking, and is now helping out with everything.
Yes.
And I was like, bro, I think you need to do the medicine. And I was like, yo, Courtney, my friend really needs the medicine. We had this crazy integration. And like all of these hummingbirds showed up and like all this crazy like synchronicity stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Courtney was like on one that day, and she's like, fucking it's full. And then later on she's like, you know what, just come through. I was like, I knew it, dude. Because then I told Hai, I was like, if it's meant to be, then it would be meant for you to try it.
Yes.
If not, then whenever the time's right, just that's when it's right for you.
Courtney is one intuitive ass bitch. Holy shit.
Dude, she's like the sister, man.
Yeah.
From another spiritual mister.
Or the same spiritual mister? I'm not sure how that relation went. Anyway, she's family.
Yeah. So, we spoke before, but I never got into depth of what your visions or your journey or what happened.
What happened when I go in the medicine?
Yeah, the first time.
Oh,
like,
the first time.
You
Oh my God, beautiful. So difficult and beautiful. I went, drank with Taita Pedro at Hummingbird Church, and I showed up just like a scared fucking bird. I was so scared of my own shadow, man. I had no idea what I was doing or what to expect, and but I had faith. And I didn't even know to call it that at the time. In fact, I don't think I would have. If you had asked me, I would have just said I'm desperate. But no, it was faith. There was a faith in me, a call. Something was calling me, telling me like this. It was speaking to me. And so I threw back that cup, that first cup of Aya. It was god awful. It was tasted so much worse than I thought. But I throw it back, and from what I remember, I entered. How do I explain it? Like a spiritual hallway, if I could, like a corridor.
Yeah.
So I wasn't passing into the next place, and I felt like in where I was in my journey, I was in the corridor that so many other people there at the retreat were passing through. They were passing through the corridor, exiting the door of reality, entering the corridor where Taita was with me, and then entering the next place. And in that first night, I never went to the next place. I stayed in the corridor, and I purged. Okay. And not just physically but emotionally. I cried a great deal. I rocked and I shook, and it was hard work. But
what do you mean by hard work?
It was a battle to continue, because almost at every stage you're wondering, like, do I keep going or do I withdraw? This is so hard, right? Because I don't know how to explain it. Like, you're just moving through this thick swimming pool of emotional jello, right?
Yeah.
And there's like gold on the other end, and you know it. So you're like pushing through this jello, but you're getting to the deeper end, and so you're getting, you know, your breath is getting shorter, and there's more pressure around you. But you know that if you keep going, you're gonna get the gold. So you keep wading through. And at every point, though, you ask yourself, is this the point I turn back? Do I keep going? Like, this is so different and too much and scary. And but I pushed through, and I felt like I received a clear message, whether it was from Mama Aya or Taita Pedro or whoever it was gave me the message that this was enough for tonight. I didn't need to push myself further. Mm-hmm. So once I made that decision to stay in the corridor and not push myself to the next place, I played.
What do you mean played?
It was like my inner child woke up, and like she was like jumping around me playing air guitar, and like and I was her at certain points, and I felt like adult me was grabbing the face of little me and just holding her face in my hands and telling her, like, I am so proud of you. You did so good. You did such hard work. Look where we are. We did it. We're here. You know, it was like this welcome home to myself that I received. And I felt proud of myself, more proud of myself than I think I have in many years. And then once I reached that point and I told myself, it's okay, like we did enough work for tonight. We have 2 more days. And then we just played for the rest of the night. Every time Taita sang on the harmonica or used the what is the leaf?
I don't even know what the fuck that's called, but that shit's crazy.
But yeah, and like every time you did that, like I would just be dancing and like holding my face and reminding myself, you did good, Danya. You did so good. And yeah, and that was my first night. And it was beautiful.
So what was your tension coming in? What did you feel like was not? I guess kind of like what's coming to my mind is like what did you feel like was broken or like not vibing with you? What made you seek out the medicine? You know what I mean?
I just didn't know who I was anymore.
So when did you feel like you kind of lost who you were? Or did you ever feel like you ever knew who you were and you kind of like just got lost along the way? Or
I feel like I had glimpses of who I was. I am very proud of myself, knowing the life that I've lived and seeing the ways that I didn't let it crush me and crush me out of me. But there were many ways it did crush me out of me. And and like I made comments earlier, and we've talked before, but I grew up Mormon. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, as they prefer to be called these days.
Why did they change their name? Like, dude,
rebranding, corporate rebranding.
This is all brand new to me. This is kind of like the juicy thing. Like, I kind of want to talk to you about.
No,
I never like.
Please, I love talking about. It's like, dude, it gets me off.
You know, it was Mormons. Forgive me, I have no clue about anything.
Go ahead.
Are Mormons the one that kind of goes door to door and
yes.
try to? Okay,
with the Jehovah's Witness also do. The Mormons are the one with the white shirts, ties, and black name badge.
Okay, on bicycles.
Yes.
Got you.
Yes,
exactly. Then it was kind of crazy because I remember one of my friends in high school, dude.
Yeah.
He was like a punk rocker, skater, everything, and one day he shows up my door, and you know, I'm not gonna say his name, but I was like, bro, how are you? You know, like, what the hell are you doing at my doorstep?
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, yo, I converted, and do you have some time to talk about like Jesus or whatever?
No, it's a trap, run.
No, but then, dude, I invited him in, right? But but I was like, bro, I'll let you share what your knowledge is, and if you let me share with you Buddhism, right?
Fair. What was the reaction?
It was cool. He came in, gave me a pamphlet and stuff, everything, and then when it was time to share, she's like, I gotta go. I was like, all right, I guess, cool, whatever, man.
We tried.
Yeah, but
that aligns.
But you know, it was kind of crazy just to kind of see that. Were you born into a Mormon church, or?
I was by 7 days.
What do you mean 7 days?
My parents converted to Mormonism as adults, and there's a series of things that you do as a Mormon to become a true Mormon, right? You get baptized, you get confirmed, you fulfill certain callings within the church, and then you get what's sealed in the temple. You know the big Mormon temples? Have you ever been down to San Diego and you see that big crystal-looking palace? Or there's one here in LA too.
Yeah.
You know, they're massive buildings, great and spacious buildings, and but you get sealed in there, right? That's where they have all of their sacred #secret ceremonies, and you get married in there and sealed as an eternal family in there. And when you do that, that's like the mark you made it as a Mormon. Like you got sealed to your eternal family, and now as long as you just stay the course, your path is secured. You're gonna go to the highest level of heaven because they believe there are 3 levels of heaven.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, there are
3 levels
Three.
of heaven. So like, if you're like living an okay life, you're like, okay, you're at the outskirts of heaven, or how does that work?
Okay,
dude?
so like I couldn't
I
even
mean,
explain it without like unless I wanted to paint the chart on this canvas right
fucking
now.
paint it right
Because-
now, dude.
Okay.
Because I'm just like,
I need
what?
some yellow.
Right here, yellow right there,
to
bro.
depict the holiest of ones.
I'm just like, what
we're
the?
gonna talk to you about the plan of salvation, Tony. This is called the plan.
Wait, don't
of
try to
salvation.
convert me though.
Oh, it's happening. The Mormons taking over.
Don't try to convert me, dude.
But in essence, the Mormons believe that there was a life prior to this life, right? Like many religions, they call it the pre-existence, all right? And in the pre-existence, we chose to come down here, blah, 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 it doesn't really matter. And we come to this earth, and then depending on the type of life that you live and the choices you make and all of that, you will get categorized into 3 separate types of heaven. The celestial kingdom being the highest form, and then I'll always mix these 2 up, and every Mormon does, so please forgive me, but then it's the telestial kingdom, and then the third being the terrestrial kingdom. And like I said, depending on if you were Mormon or not, like you could only really go to the celestial kingdom if you're a Mormon. Like, and they get around the loophole of being like, well, what about the people born in Africa that never heard of Mormonism? We're gonna punish them for being, So the Mormons get through that loophole by saying, well, you have the opportunity to accept the gospel after this life if you never got the opportunity in this life. If you got the opportunity in this life and you reject it, you're fucked. If you got the opportunity, if you didn't get the opportunity in this life, you have the chance to accept it in the afterlife. And of course, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? It's the true gospel. That's how you get to big heaven. And then if you just kind of lived an okay Christian life and like maybe you were like a really awesome pastor or whatever, but like, yeah, there you go, Tony. Actually, you're a really good dude, but your friend came to your door one time and gave you a pamphlet on Mormonism, and you chose to reject that information. So
No,
sorry,
I didn't
buddy.
reject. I invited him
The
in.
kingdom is out of your reach.
No, I
okay?
invited him in.
So you can go to a lesser kingdom where your friends and family from the celestial kingdom who lived a more righteous life than you, they can come visit you.
So why did you choose yellow as like the holy, the highest one?
I'm murdering it up now because that's like the Mormons, the symbolism of purity is like very standard, like all white, gold, pure things.
That means Asian people are pure, bro. We're yellow.
Yes, yeah. Don't go to Utah and say that. You won't get the same response. Sorry, I know there are plenty of non-racist people in Utah.
Okay, so tell me about your experience about being Mormon. How long were you a Mormon before you're like, yo, this is not for me?
It went in stages. So I had my first kind of like idea that this wasn't for me. Actually, the day after I was baptized, because you're baptized at 8 years old. And what you're taught as a child is that you're going to get baptized, and when you get baptized, you then get a blessing where you get confirmed and you receive what's called the Holy Ghost. And that is like the still small voice, the conscience in the back of your mind, the Jiminy Cricket of Mormonism, right? You get that once you get baptized and blessed. And confirmed, they say.
So do Mormons like believe in like spirits and entities and all of that?
Not to the extent that you would think they do.
But then there's a
they
call it a Holy Ghost. I'm confused.
Yeah, they believe in like angels and like divine beings, but it's kind of a mixed bag on if people believe in demons or if people believe in actual ghosts. The church doesn't really take stances on that so hard. And so it's a little out there. But the day after I was baptized, I got confirmed. I got that blessing where you were supposed to receive the Holy Ghost. And then I got sent up in front of the entire congregation to bear my testimony, right? And I'm 8 years old, brand new 8-year-old girl in front of like 100 people. I'm standing at this microphone, and until now, I've just been told that this is the moment that the Holy Ghost will come to me, and I will know what to say and how to be a good Mormon, and I'll be different, right? That's the education you're given. So I stand up there, I'm in front of this microphone, I'm looking at this crowd, and I realize that there is literally nothing inside me that's different than it was a couple of days ago before I got baptized. I'm the same person with the same inner voice. I don't feel any different. And I just start crying. And everyone in the congregation, my parents included, were like moved by it. They were like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. She's overcome with emotion. Right? In reality, I was crying because I thought I failed, Tony. I thought I failed. At 8 years old, I failed God, and he was not going to give me the Holy Ghost because I didn't feel any different than I did before I was baptized.
All right, give me 5 seconds.
Go ahead. We'll go on after that and talk about how that created a split personality in me. So yeah, I failed God at 8. And after that, I just knew I was doomed.
So, about the Holy Ghost, is God just like, Holy Ghost for you, Holy Ghost for you, like no Holy Ghost for you? How does it work? Like, is the Holy Ghost like one being, an entity, or?
So the Mormons believe in like a Godhead of 3, right? Of Heavenly Father, who is separate from his Son Jesus Christ, who is separate from the Holy Ghost. Like, that's our Holy Trinity, right?
Yeah.
And so they believe that these are all separate deities that work in conjunction, have different roles, and blah, 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 blah. And there's all this Mormon doctrine you can dive down where people believe that the Holy Ghost was originally Adam, who was the first man to be created on the earth, right? And that he then became the Holy Ghost. There's all this Mormon doctrine you could deep dive into. It gets real fucking weird.
But I mean, like, the first man on earth, and then, his homegirl ended up, like, sinning, like, right away, well, that's the story I heard anyways because of the apple and stuff.
Yeah.
How does that story like resonate with Mormon?
Oh yeah, Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. In fact, they play, and this is gonna offend any Mormons listening because you're not supposed to talk about what happens inside the Mormon temple, right? It's supposed to be sacred. But let's get in it. So in the Mormon temple, you're in there.
Don't hurt me. I'm just a listener.
Yeah. Hey, a casualty of war, baby. We're at war. I'm at war, but at war with myself, or Mormon version of me. But they play a video of Adam and Eve being cast out of the Garden of Eden. They have play actors that have recorded these quality productions created by the Mormon Church. And the first part of your session in Mormon temples, and depending on what service you're there for, is to sit and watch this 40-minute or so video of the story of the creation, which includes the creation of the planets, and planet Earth, and the animals, and the Garden of Eden, and Adam and Eve, and then it tells the story of the temptation, right? In which Satan is personified like as a human being, not as a snake. But you're watching a movie. It's like a movie.
Wait, the snake is Satan like transforming into a snake and like trying to trick?
Yeah, in the video that they play, it's just a man.
Yeah. It's
just like 3 homies on a desert island. And of course they make Eve look dumb as fuck in this video because dumb stupid women ruining it for all of us.
Damn it!
God damn it! So and it's so funny that the juxtaposition of the fact that Mormons are such modest fucking people, but in their holiest place, the Mormon temple, they play a video with like a topless lady and like a naked dude.
Wait,
they block it. They block it. They block it with like
showing kids right now.
No, like they block her boobs. Like in one scene, she's holding a fucking baby goat, and in the other scene, like there's a tree branch in front of her. Like they block it.
How old is like when you watch the movie? You're like, okay, how old do you think that movie was? Like when was it made? Like the 70s?
Okay, so when I watched it for the first time in 2007.
Bro,
The
I
version
just got out of
I
high
was
school.
watching. Yeah, well, I had two. Dude, that's a rabbit hole we haven't gone down. I got married at 17.
Jeez,
Newly
bro.
17.
I'm just like, yo, let me get a
Yeah.
car.
Dude, I was like, let me get a baby and a husband.
Damn.
That was that Mormon conditioning, though, man.
Damn.
That was all I was ever told I was allowed or could attain was being a wife and a mother. College was never an option for me.
What?
You know, it was never talked about. It was never a goal.
Are they
College
still
was-
practicing like that?
Thankfully, that starts to diminish with each generation, and I think I'm one of the last generations in Mormon culture where it was that stringent and that kind of like black and white. I think the newer generations of Mormonism are a little more mainstream with their feminism, but it's the same thing. Like when they give driver's licenses to women in the Middle East and everyone cheered. Why the fuck are you cheering that? You're treating them like human beings. So the Mormon Church is a lot better with women and their futures and goals now.
Yeah.
But I don't celebrate that shit because they should have been doing that all along if they
Yeah.
were the one true church on the face of the planet.
You know what's crazy? It's because, dude, I think we're the same age,
Yeah.
and it's not that long ago, dude.
Yeah. Dude,
it's
life
not
is
that long
wild.
ago.
Life is wild. I was thinking that shit this morning when I was getting ready to come over here, and I was like, who the fuck is this girl right now? Like, that I'm living in her body. This girl who goes to fucking Russian birthday parties, sleeps on the beaches in Malibu, and then records a podcast the next day. If you told Mormon Danya that, even 5 years ago, like, this would be my
Please
future.
save his soul.
Oh my god, I would have like honor killed myself on the Mormon temple steps or something. Jesus.
Okay,
I'm
so
such a
so
heathen.
it was like it was just like one day was like an awakening where you're like, yo, this is fucking not it.
Yeah, this is, you know what? It was there's this thing, a lot of post-Mormons, people who leave the Mormon church, they call it a shelf break. And it's because in the Mormon church, there's a lot of shit that's weird and doesn't make sense, right? But you're not supposed to question that. What you do is you take that thing, you put it up on your shelf because it'll make sense later in the next life. God will answer these questions. But eventually what happens, if you put too many things up on that shelf, it gets too heavy and the shelf cracks and then the shelf breaks. And that's what I experienced, a shelf break. I had been putting many things, like the way they treat the LGBTQ community, the way they treat women. I've been putting that on my shelf for years. And then back in 2018, 2017 is when it started. My shelf started to crack, and then it shattered. And everything came spilling out on the floor, and I was willing to stay in the Mormon church and work out my issues with my faith. But it didn't work out that way, thank God. Like, no one really wanted to sit with me and help me process it. And everyone who I went to had a really negative reaction to me, which just further drove me away from the church. And so it ended up being a great thing. It was a painful transformation, but I couldn't live the hypocrisy anymore. And I think the kiss of death was the fact that I had a daughter born to me first, and I didn't want the future the Mormon church offered for my daughter. I wanted better for her.
Crazy.
You know? I don't know if I had boys first, because it's such a patriarchal environment. Like, if I had boys first, maybe I would have been like totally chill with staying longer. But I lucked out.
You said LGBT community,
Yeah.
are they not accepting? So you can't be a Mormon if you are in one of those categories?
Well, Mormons will tell you can, but only if you abandon yourself.
What?
Because you can be gay. It's not a sin to be gay, Tony. And this is, please understand, this is what the Mormons believe. It's not a sin to be gay. It's a sin if you act on the gay. So you can be gay and you can have those gay urges, but you better not. Don't hold that guy's hand. Don't act on any of that, because that's where the sin lies. So you can be Mormon your whole life, but you can be alone and single and never fulfilled, never happy, always putting off a core part of your innate nature. And that's how you can be a good gay Mormon.
You know what was crazy? I went to Thailand one year, right? And I met this monk at a temple, and the monk has been in the temple for like 30 years, dude.
Yeah.
So I think in Thailand, their culture, forgive me if it's wrong facts, but I think normally the firstborn kind of goes into the temple, kind of like just like honors the family and everything.
Yeah.
And like, dude, I went with two Muslim girls that I met just randomly traveling, and we became good friends while we're traveling instead of traveling alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And dude, the first thing the monk said was like, "Wow, you're so pretty." You know, I'm like, "What the fuck?" You know, I was like, "Dude, did you kind of like not learn anything?"
Yeah,
you
that
know?
was maybe not the best way to
Yeah.
lead.
So I talked to him a little bit more, and he's like, "Yeah, I had another brother that was in the temple, but unfortunately, it's a waste of soul because he left the temple because he met a girl." And you know now he has kids and stuff, and what a waste of
Doesn't sound like a
soul.
waste
I was
to
like,
me.
dude, it
Yeah.
sounds like he made a great choice. Like if
Yeah.
you're not happy, then
He made the
get
right
the
choice
fuck
for
out. You know what I
him.
mean?
Yeah.
You know, and it's like now you're telling me he's having a terrible life because he has family and kids that he's enjoying.
Yeah. And therein maybe is where I should add the disclaimer, because when I first left the Mormon church, I felt like everyone should leave the Mormon church, right?
Yeah.
Because it was wrong and it had caused me so much pain, right? But I've since grown to learn that that even though it brought me a great deal of pain, it does bring other people a great deal of happiness and joy and saves them from very difficult things in their lives. Just like ayahuasca is doing for me and spiritualism is doing for me. So I have to really kind of dial back on that wounded mindset I have towards the Mormon church. I do think that they're a toxic and harmful like structure. But it has helped people, so I really can't say like everyone should stop being Mormon. In fact, a lot of my family is still Mormon, active Mormon.
Do you still keep in contact with them, or do you just kind of separate yourself completely?
They're yes, both. There's my family. I'm very lucky because my family loves each other. Yeah. Despite religious beliefs. My parents love and support me despite my religious affiliation. Now, this wasn't without growing pains and development on everyone's part. So there was a lot of pain to get here, and there was separation before getting here. Some of it being self-imposed because you're taught your whole life in the Mormon church that those who leave the Mormon church, oh, by the way, you can go to the middle heaven. I'm going to the bottom. Actually, it's called outer darkness. I don't even get any of the three heavens. I just get the outer darkness at the bottom because I left the Mormon church. And the apostates, the people who started in the Mormon church and choose to leave, go all the way down to outer darkness. Never to be heard from or seen again. So you're taught this since infancy. So I couldn't help but when I left the Mormon church, remove myself from a lot of my family because they didn't know how to be around me. I didn't know how to be around them without being in pain. And I believed that they believed that I would be damned to hell with Hitler, all because I chose to have a different life.
So, what made your parents decide to go into the Mormon church? Like, were they practicing another religion before? Like, how did they get roped into it?
Oh, they were lost kids.
How young were they?
My parents were 18, I think, when they met and got together and had my sister, and then I came shortly after. But my dad had been baptized Mormon as a young child, but his family didn't fully attend. Like, they kind of went in spurts to attend. So that was just his foundation. His only association with religion was the Mormon church, however sparse. Yeah. And my mom, I'm first generation from Argentina on my mom's side. So she met my father while he was on vacation down in Argentina, comes back a couple of weeks later with him to the United States in the 80s. And
only a couple weeks?
How? Couple weeks, bro. 2 weeks. It's a pattern in my family. But he went down there for spring break.
Damn.
And then extended his stay by a week because he liked my mom. And then at the end of that said, "You want to go back to America with me?" And my mom, it's the 80s. She walks into the embassy and goes, "Can I has visa, please?"
Oh,
and they're just like, "Sure, here you go."
Good luck.
Enjoy America, bitch. So she comes up here. She immigrates up here to be with my father. They have my sister right away, and then me shortly thereafter. And they were just their family structures were pretty damaged and toxic and harmful, and they were just kind of trying to invent their lives. And they lived in an apartment complex with a few Mormons and made friends in the jacuzzi with the local Mormons. And then they invited the missionaries to come over, and it was just all history from there. My mom just felt loved and family for one of the first times in her life. They gave her community. She didn't have that. So, of course, she was like, this is it. This is how I want to raise my family, because she felt, because Mormons are, despite all my shit talking, Mormons are good people. They try to be within the context that they understand it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, some of the context they're being taught is hateful.
Yeah.
You know, and harmful. But yeah, so that's what drew them in. And then they just, my parents, and I get that from them, they're all in or they're all out, and they were all in.
Well, there's a lot of people that I know, even family members, where, you know, they preach about going to church and being holy and this and that. But the moment you get out of church, you're going to be like talking shit on people and then not fucking walking the walk and shit. I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah.
You know, what the hell's the point?
What is the point? That was one of my shelf items that I put up there, is I started making friendships for the first time in my life with people who weren't in the Mormon church. You know, you keep a close social circle as a good Mormon. And so I got a job without Mormons in the office, and I started making friends with.
Wait, Mormons have to work with other Mormons?
Not have to, but we choose
I was
to.
like, dude,
they don't
geez,
have to.
Man.
But it's just one of those things that naturally happens when somebody owns a business and needs to hire people. They go to the church first. You know, not just Mormons do that. All kinds of people do that.
Yeah, gotcha.
But so they just go to the church first. So it just ends up that way. So I'd only ever worked in serious environments with lots of other Mormons reflecting my echo chamber back to me.
So, what are like popular jobs that Mormons do? Like for Vietnamese people, obviously a bunch of us grew up on nails, and you know, all our families had nail salons. So is there like a certain industry that Mormons were like in the most?
You know, not in my sphere of influence. In Utah, it's very different. There tends to be a heavier like cultural assignment to your identity in Utah as a Mormon. I grew up here in California, which no matter how hard you Mormon, you're still in California. You know?
How hard you're Mormoning.
Yeah. So you're still in California. You're still gonna have outside influence. So we, you know, like here in California, I do feel like, though, just my gut wants to say a lot of fucking dentists, man. A lot of fucking dentists are Mormon, I feel like. But that might just be my experience.
Gotta have that good teeth, bro.
Yeah. But I mean, Mormons are hard workers, and they're intelligent, and they're good with mental gymnastics.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, we're all human before we decide to choose a religion, before we decide to associate ourselves with certain groups and this and that. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to raw, we're just energy that's in a body, you know, so... If you're gonna be lazy, it doesn't matter what religion you join. You're still gonna be a lazy fuck.
Yeah. I agree with this. I was having very similar on Thanksgiving. I got a tarot card reading from Carl, you know, the master tarot card reader, and we're having
Mr. Young.
Yes, Carl Young. Look him up on Instagram. But we were having this conversation. He was really helping me integrate a lot of my issues with surrounding my upbringing in Mormonism, and helping me pull out the positives, because there are positives. Like, I'm an excellent public speaker because I've been public speaking since that time I cried at the microphone.
Yeah, you sound a very, very natural at this. Like, I've never been in front of the camera. I never really had any type of podcast. But, dude, the universe was like, yo, this is what you're going to be doing it.
Yeah.
And then this is how you're going to be doing it. And then, like, I just popping up on his own. You know what I mean? Even this painting shit is, like... It's fun, relaxing, and then it's like, it literally breaks the ice, even though, like, there's no ice that needs to be broken, really.
No, I get what you're saying.
It's just, it's, like, therapeutic.
Oh, yeah.
You know, this is the first time that I painted, like, now, the first time was with Tony Lee, the other guest, and then now I'm doing a collab painting, and it's cool because, like, we can see, like, totally two different things, and but we're using the same colors, and... Shit's dope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm definitely looking at mine, realizing I need a lot more therapy. Like,
yeah, but...
This is speaking to me, but I love it. Like, it's soothing. Like, I'm feeling it. Like, I am feeling... That is a part of what I'm doing, though, is working on that shadow. And embracing it and finding happiness in the darkness.
So, we got some notification within the group chat that you got some kind of scholarship.
Yeah.
Tell me what that is about, dude.
Man. Yeah, that rocked my shit because it was unexpected. Like, it was one of those just things where, like, I applied for this scholarship because of an Instagram ad. Yeah.
So you telling me those ads are real?
Oh, they're real. Either that or this is the best con ever. But I'm going to give them all my info. No, it's for a trauma-informed plant medicine facilitation program run through Aya Healing Retreats in Peru. And the program I'm specifically attending is virtual. It is not at this time in person. I know, not at this time in person. I will be going down there to the retreat center once I've concluded the certification, like in the next year or so. I'm not going to hurry down. But it is, they do it every year. And I applied for the scholarship because it's something that being trauma informed is something that I am extremely honed in on since entering the plant medicine community and because I see the need for it, because I see the good intentions and how harmful the good intentions can be. And I have a strong desire to help and not further hurt. So understanding that you can re-traumatize people or create new traumas for people in plant medicine facilitation. So I have a strong drive to understand how to avoid doing that to the very people I want to help. So that's why I've had this drive for a time, and this ad pops up. I apply. I talked to Courtney while I was putting the application together, and she helped kind of talk me through some of it. And the one thing I've always been good at is just like sitting down at a typewriter and slitting my wrists, like just bleeding into the keyboard, my soul, right?
Yeah.
And so I just did, and I just told these people the God's honest truth. If you take a chance on me, if you invest in me, I will bring this to multiple communities that I'm already involved with. I'll bring this to the people I'm personally involved with, myself included, and I am going to fulfill the work I feel called to do. And that resonated with them. And instead of giving out just 2 scholarships out of 300 scholarship applicants, they gave out 5 because they resonated so much with so many applicants.
Sick.
Yeah, and they believe now more than ever, which I agree, we need collective healing. And so they're trying to pump up their education courses to get people educated and healing the collective.
Well, it's kind of crazy because like now I think the universe, or I wouldn't say the universe, but this realm, like the planet Earth, is trying to heal itself.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of shit that's just fucking ridiculous, bro.
Yeah, that
it's
we
like
need to purge.
where I'm just like, yo, this shit is fucking bananas. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like I read
BANANAS.
I just saw a fucking post recently. Time Nightclub, Newport, right down the street. Fucking couple people were walking to their cars after club. Fucking criminals came out, pulled out a fucking gun with extended clips, put it to his stomach, robbed them, fucking pocket checked them, everything.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what? Dude, that shit should not be happening right now, bro.
That's intense.
Like, that's fucking crazy to me, And so, like, now it's just like, okay, the universe is like, okay, let's press this button where, like, let's just wake some more people and maybe they can kind of, like, help shit out.
Calm it down.
Yeah, and half the stuff I'm doing is just straight from just whatever I'm getting through my own visions or my dreams or whatever, and it's just my goal is to help heal people on his own thing, and Vitali's doing it, Taita Pedro's doing it. We're all doing it differently, but it's for the same purpose. You know what I mean? Even with my tattooing, I do a different approach where, like, dude, I approach tattooing with a very like sacred mentality where, like, I'm putting a lot of energy and my own positive just flow through any of my tattoos, and I feel like I heal a lot of people through tattooing.
I believe you do too.
But now I lost track. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying now.
No, I absolutely, I know what you're talking about.
Your freaking.
Oh, that's the scholarship. That's right.
Scholarship.
No, I was going to talk about tattoos more. I was like, fuck yeah, tattoos are healing. Fuck. That was the first thing I did when I knew I was for sure done skis with the Mormon church. The first thing I did was drive myself to a tattoo shop and get a massive weeping angel on my back. Like a crying angel.
So what does that represent?
Because at that time, my mindset, I don't have this mindset anymore, but when I very, very, very first left the Mormon church, I believed I was damning myself to hell. That to eternal damnation, outer darkness, that this choice I was making would forever seal my fate in damnation, but I was in so much pain that I would rather be damned in the next life and be out of pain in this life than to continue living the life that I was, the Mormon lifestyle I was living.
Do you believe that we chose to be on Earth this lifetime, or do you feel like it's just luck of the draw, and we're just here um, just because we're here?
I have a very limited knowledge, but currently, and my beliefs are ever evolving. Currently, I believe it is a mixture of both. I believe that there are some people that were called or volunteered to be put in this existence, and there are some that this is just their first go around, or that this is a different path for them. But I think that it takes all kinds, and I think there's all kinds of us here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I don't know what that means. I'm like I said, I'm so new with this stuff. I just have feelings.
For me, it's kind of weird because, you know, through my ayahuasca experience, there's a lot of beings that come through, and a lot of them are, you know, considered to be very holy in different aspects, you know, and you know, when they come through, a lot of times I would imagine, like, if I was a follower or something, I would kind of have like this extra like respect for them. But dude, when they come through, it's like, so when you talk to whatever's coming through, it's telepathic. It's just instant knowing, and you're communicating. There's no talking. There's no, you don't see, you know, like, it's not like the fucking movies, dude. It's not like, oh, fuck, man, there's this Holy Spirit or whoever, this entity here talk. Like, you don't see shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's all feels and energy. But it's like, these are considered like bodhisattvas, or like higher levels of, in like Buddhism. There's so many different sectors in Buddhism, right?
Yeah.
But then like the way that I communicate with them, it feels like we've been working together forever, you know? So it's like slowly starting to like bring back certain memories where I'm just like, dude, I'm talking to, well, let's not say talking, but communicating so naturally, like we're friends. You know, it's not like God or whatever, like that relationship where like, oh, I'm the son of God, this and that, you know what I mean? And yeah, so it just maybe came to a conclusion where, you know, I've been around for so many lifetimes that I just don't remember, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just a cycle where like you know, like one of the experience I've witnessed where I felt was very exciting was I got to witness just existence and everything, right?
Right.
But the true reality is all of us is gonna get to experience it sooner or later. It may not be now, it may not be 10 lifetimes, a million lifetimes, but eventually we're all gonna get to the beginning point, and you're gonna be like, wow, this is existence. It's fucking crazy, dude. But everyone, every single soul, anything that has energy is gonna get to that point at the beginning, and you get to be like, whoa, this is dope. And then start fucking all over again. And maybe that's why we don't remember shit.
Maybe.
Because you get to experience all of it, and then at the end of the line, you're like, this is tight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it again. Dude, that's exactly
I can
what
see
I
my
experienced.
dumbass saying that.
Dude, that's exactly how I experienced everything. And it's so crazy because it's like, that's the true meaning of existence, is to experience everything. The heartaches, the love, the laughter, the burdens, everything, you know? And eventually, when everything comes, you get to go to the beginning and be like, yo, that was tight. So I'm gonna do it again.
Do it again.
Whether, you know, you can live a whole entire lifetime fucking destroying yourself, you know, and then the next life, okay, I'm rebuilding. Okay, I'm gonna take a break. Okay, I want to do this. I want to do that. And then eventually, when everything's done, I'm at the end of the finish line. So what do you want to do?
But do you feel like you have connected with, or you understand certain aspects or characteristics from your past lives? Like, do you feel like, because I feel like I am someone who has had past lives, and I do feel like I have identified characteristics that I carry from those lives, not this.
So so a lot of times, this is the craziest thing. There, the first time I was kind of experienced ayahuasca, like, again, ayahuasca is not for everyone, it's very different, but for me, it literally fucking opened my third eye and just fucking shot me through the universe. I have so much knowledge that I don't even know that I have. So what I learned or what I have in me currently, I don't even know, but I guess it's called infinite knowledge.
Okay.
A lot of things that I don't do, like I had this conversation with my sister where like I try not to read because I don't want to influence myself with fucking other people's thoughts and stuff. So like even though I have books and I want to read, I'm like, just don't.
Yeah.
Because I can cross-reference with people who do read.
Yeah.
You know, and so all this information I'm getting is just fucking raw information from the universe, right? Awesome. So what I've learned is time is not linear, you know, and yeah, you can read that and shit all over the internet, everywhere. It's not linear, you know. So it's like there was a point when I felt Buddha awaken and Siddhartha the first, you know what I mean? But dude, in reality, there's so many. Imagine how many times he was awakened, and imagine how many times I was there. Like I don't even know.
Yeah.
You know, imagine who was there that we don't know. Imagine who was his teacher, who was its teacher. You know what I mean? It's all like fucking everything happening at the same time. You know, so it's not like, oh, I had so many lifetimes. It's like, okay, if I remember that, that may be a lifetime. Who knows? Yeah. You know, because that's the beauty of life. We don't know.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, that's why it's like sometimes I'll put myself through heartache, or I'll experience something where I'm like, maybe I have to let someone go or something like that, and maybe you know, we have to experience this for us to grow, you know, and so even with all of this COVID thing, you know, like people don't realize it, but it's separating people.
Absolutely.
You know, it's crazy. You know, but then it gives the perfect opportunity to fucking make people push their agenda.
Yes.
You know, give me 1 second. I'm gonna reset this.
Yeah, reset it.
But yeah, dude, like right now I'm living this existence where I think if a lot of people, I'm not saying everyone, but I think majority of people just aren't ready for the knowledge that's coming through, because it's not that they're ready, they just don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if I was in someone else's shoes, I was like, dude, I don't want to hear like we're gonna just get reincarnated and nothing we do matter.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like fucking what the fuck's the point of living and stuff, you know? And there's some people that have done ayahuasca where they experienced something similar and now they're indifferent about life. They're having a hard time integrating.
Yes.
You know, and it's really difficult for them to go back. It's like the Matrix, literally. Yeah. It's like I took the pill, I thought I was ready, and oh shit, now I'm not fucking ready. Like maybe I want that fucking digital steak again.
Yeah, and you know what though? I feel like we all go through, like, I go through phases. I fucking love this path of enlightenment I'm on, and I am like one of those people that's like more deeper. But then I get scared of the power or what I experience, and I need to like rein it back a bit, and I pull it back, and I do have those moments where I oscillate between more, and whoa, too much. This is too much. I need to chill the fuck out.
So you know what's funny that you brought that up, right? It's I was talking to our friend Jo.
Yeah,
she's fucking amazing. She always happens to be at the right place at the right time every single time.
Saying the right things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to do integration about for people where they were experiencing like you, because when I first started, I'm like, damn, this is real? Is it real? Am I hallucinating? So I wanted to do an integration that's called Don't Get Lost in the Sauce, bro. Because people end up being like, yo, man, I'm the fucking God. You know, like, bro. Yes. Okay, you may have aspects of God, but definitely you're still human and you still need to go fucking work.
Yeah.
You need to make a living. So, if I don't see you floating, you're just like me, bro.
Yes. I very much.
Yeah,
I'm
don't get
grateful.
lost in the sauce.
No, I am so grateful that my brain took the route of the more I know, the more I realize I don't know. Instead of the I am God now.
Dude, don't get me wrong. I sometimes feel that when I'm on the medicine, but also you have to be real with yourself. You can't lie to yourself. If you really think that you are God after doing ayahuasca, bro, you need a lot of more integration. Like, take a break from ayahuasca.
Yeah. But please, for all of us.
Because, dude, I honestly feel like even though it's such a beautiful medicine, and again, it needs to call you. You'll know when it calls you, because I get the question all the time, like, how do you know if it's calling me?
Yeah.
Bro, you just know.
You'll know.
You just fucking know.
Even if you don't consciously, like, I didn't consciously realize it had been calling me for so long when I first started, because I didn't understand the signs. I didn't know, the signs were there, they were being given to me, but I wasn't receiving them. And so once I drank that first cup, I realized, like, it all clicked into place, and I was able to look back on my recent path and see all the areas that Aya had been calling to me and brought me to this point. So she absolutely has, but you may not consciously even realize you've been called until you're there.
You know, the cool thing is, you know, our journey is actually almost the same. Like, I've only started ayahuasca the beginning of this year and the end of last year.
Yeah.
You know, and dude, the universe is now communicating with me in real time. Like,
that's amazing.
Like, just real time, like, communication. And dude, what now is gonna blow my mind is it has always been communicating with all of us in real time.
Yeah.
It's just we don't know
how
that it's the universe and how it's communicating. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
So
yes, I do.
It's always communicating with everyone. Just take the time to listen.
Yes.
Or notice the sign, because a lot of times it's not going through your ears. It's through your sensories. It's through your gut.
Yes.
Dude, have you ever had that gut instinct where, like, yo, I'm in a bad situation right now?
Yes.
That's the motherfucking universe telling you get the fuck out, right?
Yes.
That's not your fucking stomach, like,
no.
No.
No, it is fascinating to see all the different means with which the universe does communicate with us that we've been ignoring for so long. But it's like we're waking up. I've woken up a little bit. Still sleeping on some days, but I mean, I feel like it's happening at a more rapid pace because of things like the pandemic. There's a quickening of the earth taking place where a lot of people are being forced. Like, I feel like I was one of them. I was forced to wake up because I was in such a place of pain.
I feel like so many people are like awakening. I don't even know. It just sounds weird to me when I'm saying people are awakening.
Yeah, it's the only, really, we don't have the accurate words. It's only the human context we can give it.
Yeah. But is there like a fucking spiritual awakening for dummies book? That's why so many people are awakening right now. They're just like, yo, let's go to Barnes & Noble and just pick this up because I need to awake or something.
Well, that's this podcast, Stupidly Woke. Like, I do. That's why I love the name of this podcast, though. When I saw it, I was like, that's how I felt after that first cup of Aya. I felt awake, but like I had no fucking clue what was happening, and I was the dumbest fucking idiot there, but I was enjoying it, you know, and curious.
You know, again, I think the universe chose the name because originally I had another name where it was conscious over conscious, where when you did the math, it C over C, the fraction equals one consciousness.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, that's dope. But most people not gonna get that shit, and it's like too in depth for even me. Like, I enjoy it, this and that, and then I was like, let's make something more fun, like towards my personality. And I was like, okay, let's get woke, because most people is like, let's get high. So I was like, yeah. And then I Google it, and I'm like, dude, fucking people already thought of it, and how original of me to think of something I don't even, you know?
Yeah.
And then I don't know, I was like, man, that's so stupid.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Stupidly woke?
Stupidly woke.
And so, you know, here we are now, you know? And it resonates with me so much because I was like, dude, was it a stupid decision for me to kind of like go on this path and kind of wake myself up? you could really just stay in the matrix and just kind of like do like that get married thing, have a life,
Yeah.
go to work, and then you know what? That is kind of tripping me right now. Ever since I was young, I just saw this vision of my tombstone that said Tony Dang was a father, worked, didn't do jack shit. And I was like, dude, I do not want that
Yeah,
tombstone.
not a
I
great
want to put my
eulogy.
I want to put my imprint and kind of leave society like in a better way somehow. You know what I mean? That's
Yes.
why I do all of this charity stuff and all of this.
Yeah.
And dude, honestly, I'll tell the truth right now. Like sometimes it's really tiring. It
Oh.
burns me out to like think of these projects, help with these projects, create these projects. But dude, it's like the universe is like just plugged into me, and
Yeah.
like I'm down to do it, and I enjoy doing it. But it's like in a way like I'm just doing it because the universe is like, bro. Sorry, you gotta do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I was like, oh man,
Yup,
you know.
yup, I feel that.
And so it's like, it's cool to feel like you have a purpose or you're still like looking for it, but it's still guiding you. Like
Yes.
there's a path versus being so lost. And don't get me wrong, being lost is a beautiful thing too. You know, like
I agree.
a lot of people like they're always caught up on trying to find themselves or oh, I want to know who I am or what career and this and that. Fuck it, just be lost, dude. I was lost for a long time. You know, like I did all types of shit, but luckily for me, I always did shit that made me happy.
Yes.
You know, it was never the money
Yeah.
that drove me. But again, you know, I'll share with you. There was one year, I think it was like 2012 or 13, when I was like, bro, I need to leave society, and I sold everything I owned, and I went to Vietnam just to help people because I had this calling to help anyone. I didn't know
Yeah.
a single soul in Vietnam.
Yeah, yeah.
You know. And the whole time I was telling myself, dude, I was like, man, money's the root of evil. I don't need no money. I can survive this and that.
Yeah.
And guess what? Motherfucking money didn't show up. And I was like, now, fucking fast forward, money is a frequency. It's not the actual currency. Money is the frequency. Like, if you tune into it correctly,
Yeah.
you can literally make money to do these projects.
Yeah.
I was so young and naive where I was like, preaching this gospel where I try to live.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know,
yeah,
we're
yeah.
like, oh, I don't need money, this and that. It's like, I don't like being broke either.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know what
yeah.
I mean?
And if you're in a constant state of survival,
You can't
how can you
thrive.
develop?
Yeah.
You know, and what is it? I can never remember the name, but the hierarchy of needs, right? Like that concept of the hierarchy of needs. If you're constantly just surviving every day, there's no development, and that's why it is important. I'm learning, and I'm not preaching here. I'm
Yeah.
sharing what I'm learning. Is that we do need to have a sustainable financial situation in
Yeah.
order to further develop instead of just scratching to survive every day.
But it's wild because I have this ability that I can just tap in and then I make money really easily, but I also spend it like
Yeah.
fucking stupidly, like stupid woke, like stupidly woke. But then there's people who like hardworking,
Yeah.
like they're fucking working 3 jobs, they're fucking pulling like 100 hours a week,
Yeah.
and they're still trying to survive. And it's like, it's not that they're not hard worker, it's not that
Yeah.
they're stupid, it's
No,
not anything
no.
like that. It's just they just can't tap into that frequency.
Yeah.
And I think, you know,
And I was
What-
there for many years. I was living that way.
dude,
for
I was
many
living
years.
paycheck by paycheck.
Yeah.
I'm still in credit card debt, honestly. You know, but I don't worry about it because I know like I'll eventually get out. I don't pay the minimum.
Yeah.
I pay more whenever I can. You know, like if I want something, I'm just gonna go get it because
Yeah.
I'm not gonna worry about can't afford it, this and that. You know, like with that mentality, it starts creating this bubble where like, oh, I'm broke. I can't afford this. I
Yes.
can't. And then,
You
dude,
create your own
that
blocks.
energy starts fucking going in and like, nah, you're just a walking, I can't afford nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And dude, that sucks. You know?
I get it. I'm learning that too. The whole concept of manifestation is fascinating to me, and I know very little about it, but I am, dabbling. And it's working out. Like that scholarship
Yes.
for me. And then literally a couple days after, I get an email that each of my kids got a scholarship for a camp that they're going to go to. You know, like it's flowing in as I align my vibration with what I want to put out and receive from the universe.
Just like the little segment that I had with Tony Lee where I talked about manifestation. Like, dude, I'm manifesting shit on the spot to the point where it's fucking scary. Where like I can't be manifesting like fucked up shit.
Yeah.
You know, so I have to be like very careful. But the whole thing about manifestation is you have to believe it 1,000,000%. Like if there's a tiny 1% that you don't believe, it doesn't happen, dude. It doesn't happen. And for the longest time, like I just believed in, dude, that thing's tripping you out, right? It's taking our echo and it's just going through the sound.
I love it. That's
why at first I was like, what the hell? But it's cool.
I was like, whoa. I can hear the sound balls going behind us. That's awesome.
Dude, maybe the spirits are playing it. Who knows? But you know, it's cool. But yeah, I just kind of like just manifest everything now. Like I so believe that it's my superpower. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. See, I need to learn more about it, and I need to practice that faith more. It's only recently that I have been starting to have that faith, and I've released some of that doubt.
I think it has to do with the more time you sit with it, and again, the more time you're able to listen to the universe, like really take the signs. Because, you know, maybe you're trying to manifest something, and then the universe is giving it to you, but you're pushing it away because you don't realize that's what it's telling you to do. You know what I mean? And so, like, there came a point one time when I was like, I'm a manifestation machine, you know? But I wasn't like that forever. Yeah. But I had to sit down and be like, yo, I believed in myself enough to do tattooing. I've been self-sustaining myself with these hands for, like, the last 10 years. Yeah. And then now I have my own studio, you know? And then I do plant medicine. And then, like, everything I envisioned before the plant medicine is, like, foreshadowing, and then now it's like fast forward, like everything's happening. I'm just like, yo, I'm starting to realize like this shit is fucking real.
It does seem to accelerate your life. Like I've noticed that since like on the path of enlightenment, it feels like every step I take accelerates a little bit more, and I'm kind of in like at the top of a roller coaster, like putting my hands up, like, oh shit, what's next?
You know, what just popped up to my head right now, I was just I was hanging out with one of my friends from Chicago. She came by visit. Shout out to Nookie. We went to this crystal show. It was such a random. She just hit me up. We had lunch, and then we just decided to go crystal show. And you know, she was one of these people that helped influence me with crystals and shit that I don't even, you know, honestly, I still have no idea. But whatever attracts me to it, then I'll just pick it up. But dude, we're talking in the car, and for some reason my gut was like, yo, I want to share with you this song. And this song is In Dreams. And dude, that shit always transcends me. Like every single time something happens, for example, the first time I ever tried Bufo, it was in the studio.
In this studio?
In this fucking studio. And dude, I sat down, Susie gave me the medicine, and automatically that song played. It just turned on its own. Dude, everything started vibrating, and it just split. Like, there's this Buddha's head, and I looked at it, and it just split, and it just took my soul. And you know how, like, Bufo is a scary thing to witness if you don't know what the fuck you're doing. I actually, side note, I help facilitate and hold space for a Bufo ceremony. And you were there.
Yeah, I was receiving at that ceremony.
And I was helping out, but it's like, it's fucking scary if you don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yes.
For me, I'm like, okay, cool, people are going through their journey. I'm going to help them have a better experience, make sure they're just good, you know? But like, let's say to the naked eye, you're just like, this guy's convulsing on the ground and he's fucking, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
You know, and shout out, because it sounds like Susie Calypso is a Bufo practitioner that we've both worked with, both received from and assisted with in the past. She runs an organization called the Temple of Eden. If you want to take a look at them, based in Southern California, she does both private and group ceremonies, and they're really transcendent. But he's correct in that it's an extremely powerful ceremony. And when you're in group ceremonies with Bufo, and people are doing like all kinds of wild shit, you remember Michael from Vegas? from Vegas Aya. Did you go to Vegas Aya?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's this guy Michael there. He came and did Bufo in LA with us after, right? And that's where I met him. And Michael, I love you. I hope you're okay with me sharing this. But he,
Too bad.
Yeah, no, we homies. We bonded over this experience.
Yeah.
And when he took the medicine, I was holding space for a young lady who had just received the medicine and very near him, and his physical reaction. Remember, when you have Bufo, you're not in control of your body. His physical reaction was to like growl and bark at me, like he's like growling, bark, like he was a dog, and he was growling and barking at me, and I was sat there, and I'm like going into meditation, right? Because I don't want to like aggravate him, so I close my eyes and I just like go into meditation. He's like barking at me, and Carl's holding space for him, and Carl's like jumping every time he barks. It was the funniest fucking shit. But if anybody had seen that without an open mind and heart, they would judge it for what the physical body does. Yeah. But that isn't the point of Bufo at all, is it? You know, it's about this oneness with God that you receive. Yeah. And the body doesn't matter. Fuck the body. Yeah. Body doesn't matter.
So, but like going back, the crazy thing was like, it looked like someone parked their car. So my body was in like the cross like lotus position. Yeah. And literally I didn't move. Right? I felt my body stay still. I left. And like all of these energies were around. And they were like, we were waiting for you to awaken. And then they literally like bowed down. And I felt like it's like a collective energy. Don't get me wrong. It's not this egotistic thing. It's just like, dude, we bow to each other all the time. So they're like, yo,
welcoming you.
Welcome, you know? And then I came back. Literally, just like that. My body wasn't shaking or nothing. But then that first time I think was just fucking intimate because I remembered everything.
How interesting.
And then I tried Bufo one more time, and then I just didn't remember shit. And I remember, like, I don't remember anything, you know? And so they're telling me, like, I was moving, this and that. I was like, oh, dude, I just actually some of it came back to me. I closed up, and I started weeping. And I think it was just had to do something with my dad. I mean... There's nothing. Me and my dad, we had a falling out. He left the family like a long time ago, but I think it had to do something with that. But it was like I couldn't remember shit.
Yeah,
And you know, like honestly, I feel like Bufo is such a powerful medicine where like I can't see myself doing it regularly, or even like 2 or 3 times a year, or it's even with ayahuasca. When this is how I feel. Don't get me wrong. It's like when things are opening up your body, you're accepting so much extra energy flow. You're exerting a lot of energy flow. I guarantee you that it's shortening up our lifespan. Yeah. But I don't care. Who cares about 95 when I can't even fucking hold in my shit? Whatever, dude. Okay. Take a few years off. I don't mind.
Fair, you know fair. That's why I continue to eat French fries.
Yeah, but honestly, it's like, man, Bufo was just fucking... intense. 2 bananas for me.
It was very bananas.
But it was fucking beautiful, man. Yeah. Like literally ayahuasca and Bufo, for me, a lot of people get different visions. They're working on different things.
Yes.
For me, dude, it didn't matter who I was drinking with, like where I was doing it, who I was doing it. Dude, the same spirits came through. It was the same continuation. Yeah. They always showed up. It was fucking... That's how I know that it's fucking crazy, because it's like I tried shrooms, you know, I ecstasy, all of these other drugs, and it's like it makes you physically feel something, but it's like you're still here. Yeah. You know, like I'm doing different medicines and the same beings are coming through. It's like, dude, it's just different ways for me to connect. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so that's why I'm just like, yo, this is more than just a hallucination. Because for like the first half, like I really wholeheartedly believed that what I was experiencing, but then again, like the realistic me, like the reality on Earth me was like, bro, you could be hallucinating. Yeah. For all you know, like this shit's like fucking fake, and you're going crazy.
Yeah. I have that conversation with myself regularly.
You know.
Yeah. You know, it's so funny. I remember the first time I heard you talk like this was at that first February ayahuasca retreat. We were around the fire on Friday night waiting for Taita to arrive. So I hadn't drank yet, and I still consider myself agnostic. And we were having, it was It was me, you, Vitaly. There's that girl Ladybug that was there around the fire, and I was in a very unreachable place. Like, you guys were trying to share and talk to me, and you were sharing some of your experience, and I remember in my head listening to you and going, this guy is full of such shit. I was like, this guy is fucking nuts. But then, like, I thought that about most of the people there, right? I'm the only one who's not. Everyone here is fucking weird, you know? But you throw back that first cup of ayahuasca and you realize, nope, everyone here is enlightened.
You know what? You know what's crazy? Is because, like, okay, I mean, you've obviously seen it. The people who organize, they see it. Like, when I drink medicine, I really don't go on journeys. Like, you know, I just open up.
Yeah, you are a different breed, sir. Yeah.
But the crazy thing is, I'm experiencing all of that, and then there's some people who talk about spirituality. I'm like, you're a fucking pile of bullshit. But again, like, who am I to judge what the fuck you're experiencing? You know what I mean? Like, I'm experiencing this, and I know it's true because I'm telling myself it's true. But when someone is talking and they're like, yo, like, I'm fucking levitating, and it's like, this shit don't even make sense to me.
Yeah.
But again, like, spirits and fucking beings outside is talking to me, communicating. It's like, dude, I sound fucking crazy.
Yes,
you know?
Yes. I think that's what, once I started having my own crazy ass journeys and then tried to tell people about it and realized how crazy I sounded, that's when I stopped judging other people for their shit, man.
Yeah, dude, it's just such a funny experience how, like, yo, so this is what I was talking to Ryan High about. It's like, talking about going back to, like, the don't get lost in the sauce thing.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, letting go of your everyday ego is already fucking hard.
Yeah.
But, dude, there is so many people that drink one time, drink two times, do this, do that, and they're now awaken. And, dude, now they have a fucking spiritual ego, which is even stupider because it's even harder to get rid of.
Oh, yeah. Identifying that, I have noticed that in the spiritual community and being like, oh my god, there are a lot of ego deaths for all the egos happening around here.
And the funny thing is, people with, like, big ass spiritual egos, they're like, I'm egoless.
Yes. Those are my
I'm like, bro, you don't even know that you have a fucking banana ego thing, like, right here, right now.
I went on a date with a guy, like, after the first couple Aya retreats, I went on a date with a guy I had met at the Aya retreats, just a couple of dates, like, then we didn't see each other again, but I remember we were walking on the beach in one of those dates, and he's speed talking his way through the conversation, and he makes a comment in there where he was like, yes, I've been told by many people that it's shocking that I don't have an ego. And I was just like, oh, homie. I don't know a lot, but I know enough to know that's some horseshit.
No, I want to make this. I want to make this leash, right? But it has a metal rod inside the leash, so it looks like you're walking an invisible dog. But then that invisible dog would have, like, this sign that says ego, so it looks like you're walking your ego around. I think that would be such a fucking gag gift. That would be freaking tight, dude.
That would be so great. That would play well. That would play well.
Where do you see yourself in the next year? I mean, you just got your scholarship, but you know,
goals.
like
big goals. There's where my spiritual ego creeps in, and I'm allowing it to, because I need to, I think, pump that ego up a bit, be a little more assertive. So I've known for quite some time now that I would walk the combo path, that I would serve combo medicine.
What is combo?
Combo, oh my god, combo. Combo is
a little segment for Brian.
Yeah, it's a little squirrel. So it's a secretion of the giant monkey tree frog that's harvested, and you get gates, little holes burned into your skin, and then the medicine is applied in like a paste on top of that. And this medicine has purgative effects, right? You vomit. You're instructed to drink a lot of water first. You vomit. You clear yourself out. You purge a lot of toxins. There are peptides. I think 19 different peptides in this frog secretion that bind within our body, and it's highly anti-inflammatory. It has all these great physical properties, but there's a spiritual element in which this medicine crosses the blood-brain barrier quite rapidly and allows you to engage in very clear conversation with your higher self while you're in medicine. And it's a short stint. We're talking 20 minutes in the medicine, right? And then you're good. You don't need more. And there are longer term effects, like, but it's been my holy trinity are ayahuasca, combo, and breath work. Those are the three that pulled me. Like when I went to that first retreat in February, I tell everyone it was like I showed up at a spiritual hospital in need of triage.
Yeah.
And that's what I received there, because this amazing retreat, Hummingbird, didn't just have ayahuasca, but they had combo that I could choose to participate in. They had breath work, they had yoga, they had all these different things to help integrate and enhance the experience of the ayahuasca. And those three work together to really surface and break down barriers between some repressed childhood traumas that I had. And so combo is something that helped me in such an astronomical way with my anxiety and my depression that I know I've continued to sit with it and feel called to it and use it and just feel intimate with this medicine and know that I want to serve it, and I want to specifically serve it to women. I want to help women with infertility issues, womb healing. I would like to learn womb healing on top of combo. And of course, doing all of this in a trauma-informed, safe container.
Who would you recommend combo for? Do you feel like it's for everyone? Me personally, I've helped hold space. I was there. I've seen a lot of pretty much the work. Some people convulse, this and that, and the fucking foaming, but hey man, that's their process. But like, luckily I don't judge anything, and I keep an open mind when I hold space, let people run their shit. But deep down I'm like, fuck, this shit is crazy. And so it never personally called me. But let's say, who would you recommend combo for?
God, people who have a lot of tattoos, Tony.
Why?
They like the pain because it hurts so good.
Dude, actually, I hate the pain.
Really?
And every time I tattoo,
pain.
I'm just like, why am I putting myself through this again? You know what I mean?
Every time I get tattoos, I fall asleep on the table. It's soothing.
Look at that sign.
Yes. And I love that. Dude, I get off on that shit.
Well, there is a tattoo. There's a category of tattooing where there's really no design. So what the artist does is they keep tattooing you until you break your threshold of pain, where it's so painful it goes to the next level and it becomes euphoria. So it's just black marks. So they're just going over and over, and then people are like, yo, it's like euphoria. It's like ecstasy. It's like...
No, and I understand that. Truly I do. And I would recommend combo to someone who understands that concept, even if they haven't necessarily experienced it to that level. But what I'm saying is people who are drawn towards very physical modalities of healing, and which I am. I respond very potently to physical healing. So like I work with a body healer named Sarah Watson. She is Sarah Watson 10 on Instagram. She's amazing. She uses the pain responses and chemical releases in your body through deep tissue, cupping, scraping type practices to guide you in conversation with your higher self. So when I do sessions with her, I come out of those sessions looking like I just went a bunch of rounds in a boxing ring. Like that, I have pictures. It looks terrifying, like road rash almost, but it hurts so good.
Yeah.
So if you're into that shit, combos for you.
So
it hurts so good.
Kind of like pretend like in a way you just received the medicine. Walk us through the beginning and the end.
Yes.
What's going through your mind? What's physically happening? Like, I'm so interested in all that because, like, I've seen it, but I really don't ask the people, yo, bro, what just happened? You know? It's just like, I don't want to be nosy.
Yes. No, so I understand. So, you get the holes burned in, and then they apply the medicine.
Do you have any holes or anything?
I got 7 here on my leg. Right, and those are from the White Light Collective. You can find them on Instagram. They're badass. And I've got 5 here from Combo San Diego, also badass.
Did you do it on a cross on purpose? Or?
Yeah, it felt symbolic to me. This specific practitioner, I freaking adored this guy, man. Ahmad. from down in San Diego, Combo SD on Instagram. He had multiple designs I could choose from. As the first practitioner I've worked with that had preset designs that I could choose from. So he started flipping the cards, and I was just like, that one. I just needed it, man.
Is it there forever? Ever?
No, it fades. Like, you'll see this one is something I did with Brian a few months before, but you can see, like, I did this one and then the white light and then a mod, and so you can see the progression in healing. And I have some on, like, my sacral chakra also that Brian done. I've worked the most with Brian Cantalupi. Also on Instagram.
Also a part of Hummingbird Church.
Also a part of Hummingbird Church. I love that boy. But so when the holes get burned into your skin with like a little burnt piece of wood, right? And then it creates a quick blister, and then the top layer of the blister is removed. They apply the paste that is rehydrated off of this piece of wood. And the minute it's applied to my skin, what I experienced is warm.
It's like,
no, actually, it's slower moving than that, and it's almost more painful. Yes, exactly. Because you have this moment where you feel it creeping like through your veins, and you're like, what did I fucking do? It's too late, because you can feel it taking over your body, and you feel first it's heat. It's this intense heat, like a fire burning you from the inside out, but in a good way. And like I said, it hurts so good. But you can feel it work its way through your body, and then you can just kind of feel the moment, or at least I can, when I've entered the meditative state that I need to be in to communicate with myself. And in that moment, I'm still hyper aware of my body. Like, I could still do anything I needed to do, but the more still I am, the further I surrender into the medicine, the deeper I go, the clearer the conversation with myself becomes. And I just experience this perfect clarity. And I'm able to give myself direction or understanding or reflection, or able to kick down doors to past trauma that I've put up, so that I can integrate those shadow parts of me that I've locked away for so long. And I can just feel it burning its way through me like an intense fever. And then, the vomiting begins, because before you begin, you chug a bunch of water, or some people cook their special brews that are supposed to be a little bit better on your system than water. But so you drink it, and then you start the purging, right? And it's collecting all of these toxins, these spiritual and physical toxins from inside your body by sitting in your stomach, and you just let it gather, just like an ayahuasca. Don't force it. And you just let it gather, and when it's ready, it'll move its way up. And then you'll vomit, and you'll continue to do so. And the more you can vomit, the better, honestly, for my process. But you got to make sure you get it all out, because some of it, if you keep too much in, it'll make you sick later.
I think a side note, a lot of people who asked me about ayahuasca that never experienced it, they're like, dude, I heard you throw up a lot, this and that. It's like, not necessarily, but if you do throw up, it's part of the process. We call it purging. It's kind of hard to explain until you're in the process. Yeah. Honestly, I never throw up. I'm able to keep the medicine down, but when I do throw up, it's very minimal. But dude, you automatically know why you're throwing up.
Yes.
And it's just like, oh, it's not, my stomach's hurting. It's like, oh my God, I need to get this spiritual thing out of my system. Or it's like, there's this thing that's been dwelling in my body forever. And dude, you may be gagging and throwing up and nothing shows up, but dude, you're like, you could be throwing up spiritual shit. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
We don't know shit in life, you know? But dude, a lot of times when I throw up, it's like, yo, this is exactly what I needed.
Yes.
It was like, yo, you can't explain it.
That's what I tell people too, because I have this conversation with people also, and I say, I know it sounds crazy to be like vomiting in a room with a bunch of other people, but when you purge or someone around you purges, I feel pride. I feel good job. Like, get it out, bitch.
It's so funny because when you're in the community and everyone's under medicine, you don't feel shy no more. So when someone's like throwing up or something or shitting their pants, literally like no one really shits their pants. Like maybe one or two
every once in a while.
Yeah, but then you're just like, bro,
yeah,
good job,
you got
man.
You. There's the washing machine.
Good job, bro.
Yeah, let me help change your sheets. Yeah. Oh, for sure. Like,
it makes you feel so safe.
Yes,
when you're doing
you
it
really
correctly.
do. And because there is this kind of like, I think, an understanding too of why it's happening. Like you said, you know why you're doing this. even if you don't fully consciously comprehend, like your soul knows you needed it, and it's gone now. You're relieved of something. And so the purging is a beautiful, important, but also keep in mind during ayahuasca and other medicines that are purgative, the purge can look very different. There have been times where my purge did, usually I do vomit, but there have been times where I didn't vomit and my purge took place as laughter. And then phased into an intense anger. And I purged through growling. So I kind of became the jaguar, like a wounded jaguar. And I purged in that manner.
Bro, that just reminded me. Were you were at the Nevada ceremony?
No, that was the one I couldn't go to.
Oh, dude, there was a participant. It was crazy, bro. Like, she went like animal instincts, and it's not like a crazy thing, but she was like fucking like gorilla status, like.
Right on, girl.
I was like, dude, and then fucking Taita Pedro's like, he pulls me over. He's like, "You got competition?" I was like, "You bastard!" I was like, cause then I'm fucking normally pretty loud when, and then he's like, "Yo, you got competition?" I was like, "What?" Okay. But that shit was so funny, dude.
Yeah, everyone's experience is so personal and different, and it's actually fun to see everyone's different experiences.
So this is how I know that our energy and I feel like we are like conductors, right? So during the Nevada ceremony, it was really different. It was very unique where I took a lot less ayahuasca. I mean, Taita Pedro just poured me whatever and took it, and this time I sat with the land. Like, I didn't like journey out or anything.
Yeah.
Dude, and dude, I just like started to weep because then I felt the energy of the land was like sad, dude. And so I sat in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
So before like Taita sent me to go check on one of the participants, he just went outside, and then it was crazy because like again, all of this knowledge comes like I have no clue, but he was like, "Is it normal for the first time participants not to feel anything?" And I was like, "Bro, I can't answer that for you.
I'm not normal."
No, it's you have to answer that. Just like why aren't you feeling it? What's holding you back? You know what I mean? And like fucking like a G, like right when I said that, I just walked away and like left them thinking.
That's great. That's wonderful, and that's the best way to teach because you know who always does that to me. Brian does it when because I feel very safe with Brian. So oftentimes when I'm in the medicine, I end up interacting with him, especially when I have a need that needs to be met. And there have been multiple times I've posed questions like, do I need to do some raw pay or something like that? And he'll every time he just looks at me and goes, "I don't know, do you think you do?" And I'm like, "Bitch, if I wanted to answer my own questions, I wouldn't have asked you." But then he makes me do the work. So it's a great way to teach, though. It's a great way that you do that.
Yes. So after that, I walked into the middle of the field. Like there's this gravel field. Like it was just guiding me there, and I just sat down, right?
Yes.
And dude, fucking luckily, there was this fire that was going on. It blocked the sun, and the sun was out, so I was able to look directly at the sun without burning my eyes. And dude, so I see the sun's rays. It's like the energy. So what I was lucky enough to experience was I got to experience just looking at the moon when I was under medicine, and the moon has these thick energy waves that are super slow, and then it like just eats the whole fucking earth. And I'm watching that, and it's telling me like, yo, this is why you sleep, is so I can re-energize you.
Interesting.
Right? And then the sun, dude, it's like fucking on steroids, and there's like, instead of thick and big waves, it's like little whips, and it's like everywhere, right? And I'm watching that, and then it just direct connects me, like just a fucking link, right? And so I'm just like, fuck, I'm getting a shitload of energy, and now I know what's doing. So the energy is starting to expand. And so far away, I see the dude that I just spoke to. I was like, I forgot his name. I was like, bro, come over here. And then I was like, yo, it's gonna be weird, but just sit next to me, and I'm radiating energy right now. I don't know how to explain it, but just sit next to me. And dude, he sat next to me, and I explained to him like, I don't know what's happening to me, but crazy shit happens when I do medicine. And so he's sitting there, and dude, he starts feeling my energy. Like, we don't have a conversation at all. And then I can see him start feeling the medicine. So he closes his eyes, and I lay down, and he lays down, and then we're just like, the more I'm starting to get all of this energy is radiating,
so you're like
right?
channeling the energy to him?
And no, it's just like a ball. So it's not channeling. You have to be in my circumference and you'll feel it, right?
Okay.
And then out of nowhere, something happens inside the ceremony place, and people start coming out. And dude, they don't say a thing. They fucking come sit right next to me, closes their eyes, starts doing the same exact shit as me without no conversations. So now there's a bunch of us sitting, staring at the sun. Dude, and I'm like, and every time someone comes, I look at him, I was like, do you see it now? And we both start laughing because he's like, what the fuck is happening, bro? And so that's why I'm like, dude, we are conductors of energy, and we're radiating energy all the time. That's why, like, dude, like, we don't realize it, but, dude, we all have these gifts where, like, when you notice someone's sad, right?
Yeah.
What is that? That's you feeling their energy, and they're radiating sadness.
Yes.
Or when someone's happy, you're picking it up and you're like, yo, let's fucking party. That's the same shit. But this was the first time I happened to just connect with the sun, and it was just like, and then it just started expanding really hardcore. And then, like, later on, I talked with Joe and stuff, and they're like, yo, for some reason, Taika just said, go out and look at the sun. People went outside, looked at it, and just came directly to me. I didn't say jack shit, dude. And then the crazier thing, they started doing the things I was doing before they came out. So I was like laying down, putting my arms up, like random shit. And then like I look over, they're doing the same thing, and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? You know, like that shit was fucking
little ceremony.
That shit was tight, dude. It was cool, man. And
it's fascinating.
Yeah, so again, like the medicine is super intuitive. It just does all types of whatever the fuck it needs to do. You know what I mean? Maybe like that dude didn't feel any of the medicine, and he was supposed to, so I can go out and connect with him.
Yes. Yeah.
You know?
We get what we need.
Yeah, dude. And then after that, it was so cool because I still don't even know the dude's name. After that, stood up, he literally said thank you, but it was like this heartfelt thank you, you know. And we just, that's it, you know. And dude, even me, I was kind of like crying for the land. And after that whole ordeal, and I told Ryan, I was like, bro, go give your energy back to the land, you know. And then Ryan went off into the bushes, and he was like just doing his own thing.
Yeah.
And then after that, dude, like I went, like I had a bunch of like, just like spirits of the land. Like when I talk about spirits of the land, it's not like people that passed away that are there. It's like, it's literally the land.
I understand.
You know?
Yeah.
Like some people that are like, oh, people that no. It's
the
so
land
different.
has its own spirits and energy.
So dude, it was like the land was asking me to come in to thank Taita, and it was fucking crazy. It was so heavy that I had to go in, and dude, when I thanked Taita, we like looked into each other's souls, bro, and it was crazy because he said, "I love you," but it's like just like looking past me to the land.
That's beautiful.
And I was just like, fuck, this is fucking intense, dude.
You got my heart skipping over here with that
But
story.
dude, man, after that, it's like, yo, we were supposed to be there because that land needed some type of fucking shit. You know,
it's so interesting that you bring the conversation this direction, because I've been receiving messages from a piece of land up in Oregon that my friend Tammy, you know Tammy, Old Grove Owl Church, right?
Hell yeah. I'm supposed to go visit her.
Are you going? Yeah, well, I see I've registered to go with her in the spring at the end of April. You know, her and I connected at Hummingbird, and we've stayed friends, and I continued to receive messages from the land that she is cultivating for these ceremonies, both in dreams and through other people, and just receiving a call to go there. And finally the call got so loud a few weeks ago that I texted her. I said, okay, fuck it, when's your first ceremony? Like, I need to go up there. So I'm going at the end of April, and I knew the minute I confirmed, like I just received this download, that this ceremony will be transformative for me.
Sidetracked, for people that don't know, what is a download, and what did you receive? How did you receive it? You know, quick run through, like, what do you experience?
Downloads are for me are very similar to how you experience, and this is one of the good things the Mormon Church did give me, was an understanding of how to communicate with spirit or an unknown entity that influences your life and receive those kind of messages. So for me, it is it's just thoughts that pop into my head, but they are more powerful than my regular thoughts. They're not my thoughts. And I don't know how to explain it, but I can just tell the difference between my thoughts and a thought that's being sent to me. And oftentimes in dreams, and this is also a family lineage thing. The women in my family are strong dreamers and prophetic dreamers, and that I believe comes with from Argentina on my mom's side through our Incan heritage, and so and the women, it's the Mapache tribe. I don't know. I'm doing the history research right now, but where all the women are shamans, right? And that's the family line that I have through Argentina, and so I have these dreams, and I can just identify when a dream comes and it has potent meaning, whether it be metaphoric, direct, or just a download of my day. I can just identify the difference.
I think after experiencing all of this, I don't really believe in dreams anymore.
Mm-hmm.
If you could remember it super vividly, I think it's a vision.
Yeah.
And you just have to decipher what it is. You know, and a lot of my ideas, my concepts, even artwork designs for tattoos, do come from my dreams.
Right.
You know, and well, visions. You know,
Yeah.
and then I'll act on it, and bro, it's just coming into this realm now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I don't. It's something I need to research more because it's something that affects me so greatly. All I know is my lived experience so far, being that. This is how I receive these communications, and this land specifically is spoken to me through dreams, through contact with others who have visited there, or like the last call came through somebody almost completely unrelated that I happen to know through a completely different means, invited me to go there in the spring. This guy I know in Florida. And he invited me. He's like, "Hey, look, my buddy is, doing ceremonies up in Oregon next year." And I was like, "You mean Drew? Fucking Drew? I know Drew." Like,
Yeah,
So-
he sings some cool songs,
Oh
bro.
God,
Yeah.
he had me weeping.
Yeah.
Like a baby bitch. And I wasn't even in the medicine. I was just facilitating.
Bro, and Stormy is fucking dope. So one of the first experience when I was more brand new to everything, fuck, I'm trying to remember her name right now. Damn it, it's just blanking. But anyways, fuck, dude, I'm trying to remember her name. But anyways, it was Stormy and my other friend. She's fuck, dude. I'm trying to remember.
It'll come to you. Just tell the rest of the story. It'll come.
She's from North Carolina.
Uh-huh.
She comes through all the time, and she's a channeler. Help me remember her name, dude.
Melissa?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Melissa.
Yeah. So they helped me through this thing where like we had this sick ass session where like when I connected, they pulled me aside, and then they literally just sat and smoked with me as spirits were coming through.
Yeah.
It was the craziest shit. So we had a session, right? And I was like kind of learning from them, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna open my body up to whoever needs to fucking come through.
Oh, dangerous game.
Yeah.
How'd that
So the first time was crazy because
Yeah.
like it was like fucking bananas.
Yeah.
And this time was like a circle, and they waited in line. Like
Interesting.
like this time it was crazy. It's like not a line, but it's like I remember everything so vividly. There's a spirit that came through, and he I don't know why I got really excited, and it was like, yo, the spirit was like, yo, I haven't no one noticed me for a long time, you know. And then he just wanted to smoke a cigarette, so I sat there, smoked with him, and then it was just like, okay, it's time for you to go, you know. And then the next one came through, and this is where it was crazy. Like out of nowhere, I slumped over, I started crying, and then this name just kept resonating in my head over and over and over, and it was, dude, my friend's nephew.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think he just passed. And so later on, after that ceremony, I went home and I talked to them, and they're like, yo, he just passed. I was like, what the fuck? Because he just came to me. You know, and this kid was highly spiritual. He was only 10,
Oh,
you know.
God,
And then
my heart.
I think it was like either brain cancer or something.
Yeah.
But dude, he came to me, and I was like, what the fuck? That shit's crazy. You know what I mean? And right then I knew. I was just like, I knew it was him. You know what I mean? And then after that, he was just like really sad he had to go. And then you know, he kind of said his goodbyes or whatever, and then
Right.
he just left. And then out of nowhere, like someone else's grandma kind of like sent a message through, and yeah, it was like, yo, I had to find this kid that was at the one of the participants. And dude, man, that's a whole nother story I'll share with another time. But shit was crazy. Like his ancestors and stuff were like fucking from different dimensions and shit coming through, bro.
It's
And
insane.
we were both looking at each other like laughing. It was like, this is unreal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, those two kind of helped me through my thing, and it was like slowly I'm getting better at controlling what's coming through,
Yes.
and it's not coming through so rapidly and raw. And you know, it's still, you know, when it happens, it's still fucking wild, but
Yes.
it's more manageable now.
Interesting.
You know, but yeah, Stormy,
She's the
fucking
best. If you guys
shit, dude.
look her up on YouTube, Stormy Atlantis. So subscribe to that shit, man, because she gets you thinking, and she's fucking funny. She's fucking funny.
Real funny. All right. So, yeah, nearing the end of our podcast because you gotta go at like
Yeah.
12:30, right?
Yeah, I got a bill. I got babies.
No,
Believe it or not, I got kids.
Dude. Yeah.
I'm a weird mom.
Dude, she's an awesome mom, man.
Thank you.
Like when I was like, bro, 3 kids.
I know.
I'm serious. I can barely take care of myself.
I know. I don't know how I do. People always ask me too, like, how do you? Because I'm involved in a lot of stuff too. I work full time. I'm involved in multiple entheogenic organizations, and I do a lot of study on my own. People ask me, I don't fucking know. You
it's
just
that extra
do.
energy source from the fucking
Yeah.
universe plugged in, dude.
And you miss out on a lot. Like that was one of the things that I learned in one ceremony where the medicine was explaining to me that one of the things I will continuously deal with is resentment towards my lifestyle, because I can't, that this new part of me that I'm integrating, like I can't go to the jungle in Peru for 2 months and drink ayahuasca and get all trained up and stuff. I have a family. And that's going to slow my spiritual growth down. But that is my path. That is my spiritual growth.
Yeah.
Understanding how to manage and to raise 3 children in this world and to teach them to love and to heal this earth. That is my medicine and my path.
Hell yeah.
You know, not being a shaman yet.
Dude, it was actually crazy that you said that because, dude, like that spiritual ego thing, when I first, all of this crazy shit that's happening to me, I was like, yo, I think I'm going to end up serving medicine, this and that. I need to find a teacher and this and that, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like reaching out to other people, this and that, and trying to find a teacher when, dude, I realized that before all of this, I was already approached. So short story, I always had sleep paralysis growing up. I saw
God,
demons.
yes.
This whole sleeve represents sleep paralysis.
Wow.
You know, and so one time it was so strong, I called out to anyone like God, Jesus, Buddha, anybody. I need help.
Yes.
Dude, bright fucking flashing light. Fucking, I was crying. I woke up and Buddha's face was right there. And that point in time, now I remember, I was like, I am only your student.
Yeah.
And then fast forward, I forgot all of it. And then I was like, why can't I find a mentor or anything? And then I realized Buddha is probably going to be my mentor.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. You know?
It makes sense.
You know, and lo and behold, I'm starting to learn, and they're coming through me, and they're coming with messages and just ways to learn and help people. And, you know, like sometimes I trip the fuck out where I'm just like, where the fuck am I getting these ideas from?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know, it's like a lot of times I'm sitting down, it's like, dude, my parents are great. They raised my brothers and sisters, but why do I have this extra urge of going above and beyond, like to the ends where like my whole purpose is to fucking help people some reason or make people's lives better? Like, why doesn't my brothers and sisters have that urge? Like, they're great people and they're kind too, but they don't have the urge to fucking leave. And you know, like right now I'm trying to like go to the jungle and just fucking be there. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, it's like weird. But it's like even one of my last ceremonies, like it's hard for people to understand, but it's like the message I was getting, I was like, this whole path, it doesn't matter how many people's around you, doesn't matter how many friends, how much family, this path you take alone. It's fucking sad, but it's the path that I chose already.
Yeah.
You know?
And I feel that. It's funny you bring that up because that was one of the things playing in my mind this morning. Because, you know, I wake up, literally parked on Pacific Coast Highway. I slept in my car last night at a little spot in Malibu. And I wake up and I had a moment of fear because I realized how comfortable and happy I was in my solitude. Like, it just, because I'm one of the things I've been working on and shedding since February is my codependency. I'm clinically codependent. My psychiatrist called me that. So it's like a thing, right? And so I've been working on that. And it's funny, you get what you ask for, but not necessarily in the means you expected to receive it. I didn't realize that working on that request from the universe, putting that out there, my path would be so lonely. But like that, it makes sense, right? Like I need to feel alone and be okay with it and grow anyways in that loneliness in order for me to shed that codependency. So I'm in that process and I'm receiving what I asked for, and it's a little bit scary because I'm like changing as a person.
Yeah.
And I'm scared of maybe there is no future relationship for me because I'm going to find the fulfillment and happiness I need here, which is the goal, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see, but I'm open to it, but just not right now. Right now, it's all about me.
Yeah.
And my growth.
Well, I would like to share what we painted this whole past like 10,000 hours.
Yes. Work of
so
art.
it's cool because this is, in a way, what our brain is regurgitating subconsciously.
Yes, definitely.
All right. So literally, I didn't think of anything. She didn't think of anything.
I cannot overexpress how little I thought about this.
Yeah, but hey, man, it's literally pretty cool.
I'm happy with it.
So now this is gonna go. I'm gonna frame. You know, actually, I'm gonna frame all of our paintings that I do around.
Aww.
So literally, on this side, it's my brain working and her brain working, and that's it. Like literally, I did not think of anything when I was painting this.
No.
And so whatever showed up.
Showed up.
And that's the wrap.
That's a wrap.
Hell yeah, dude.
Thanks, everyone.